Hi, Terry Rogers here from drewcoaching.com and renegaderecruiter.com, and welcome to this week's podcast. And of course, we're joined by Drew. How are you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Terry, how are you?
Fantastic. And this week's podcast, here's what we're showing. We're going to share with you the 5 mistakes that recruitment and search firm owners make on their website that cost them literally hundreds of thousands in lost revenue. So the very first one is, mistake number 1 is trusting their web designer. Now I want to make it absolutely clear, I am not a web designer and I'm not touting for web designer business, and I've got nothing personally against web designers, but I want you to consider something. Look at their job title, web designer rather than marketeer. There's a massive difference. See, some of your competitors right now are generating between 20 and 100 leads a month just from their website, but they're kind of doing things differently. And sadly, most web designers are great designers. I want to make this absolutely clear. They are very, very good designers, but they're not very good marketeers. And there's an enormous difference between the two. Isn't that right, Drew?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I say isn't this right, Drew, what I want you to do at that point is add to it rather than just...
Okay, well, you need to ask better questions. This is, yeah, but I agree 100% with what you're saying. I mean, we spoke about it in a lot more detail in episode 7 of the Renegade Recruiter Unleashed podcast. But yeah, your web designer has a skill, and that is building websites. They are there to build it, but you need to be the one that tells them what it is you want to see on your website. What you need to be the one that knows what makes a good website, what is the type of website that generates leads and what isn't, because they're just going to sort of be all creative and do what they think looks good, but a website that looks good isn't always the best for lead generation. So yeah, a big mistake that recruitment and search owners make when it comes to their website is trusting everything to the web designer and taking the web designer's advice rather than being the one to say, you are the web designer, but this is how I want it to look, this is how I want it to this is what I want it to do, and this is how I want it to feel. This is what I want to happen when people visit my website, and I just want you to be the one to build it for me. Okay, far too many recruitment search owners really, I guess, don't have a clue what it takes to have a website that actually generates you leads and actually attracts business, and so they trust everything to the web designer and end up with a website that costs a lot of money, because obviously the web designer can end up doing things that are expensive to do, but doesn't actually get you a return on your investment. So you don't get any leads, you don't get any business, people don't even see it. So yeah, mistake number 1 is trusting your web designer.
Excellent. Mistake number 2. I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that you go along to a dinner party with your partner and you sit next to somebody, and as you sit down, they look at you and they go, "Hi, now that you're sitting next to me, let me tell you all about me. Let me tell you where I live, how many children I've got. Let me tell you where I work. Let me tell you all the company that I work for. In fact, let me share with you the mission statement and the values of this organisation that I'm working for." I suspect within a couple of seconds, if not minutes, you're thinking, boy, am I in for a good night if all this guy's going to do is talk about themselves. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that recruiters and search firms make on their website. They talk all about themselves. Here's a fact. Your clients couldn't give 2 shits about you. They really couldn't. They don't want to hear about you. When your potential clients come to your website, here's what they want to know. What can you do for them? So rather than telling them how long you've been established, rather than showing them a photograph of your management team, rather than sharing with them your mission statement and your values and the fact that you're honest and full of integrity, they really don't want to know. Talk to them about their problems and how you will help them solve their problems. There's a massive difference. I'm sure at some stage you will give them some basic sales or communication skills, and they will tell you exactly the same. Don't talk all about yourself. Find out exactly what the client wants and talk about solving their problem. Exactly the same applies to your website. Stop talking about yourself. Nobody cares. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, and again, I think you covered that really well. We've said several times before that all your clients really care about are themselves, their problems, and how to fix them. So when they arrive at your website, they are looking for a solution. And one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is, rather than giving them that solution that they're looking for, you start talking about yourself. You start talking about how long you've been in business. You're talking about what we do, about us, and what's happening is you're losing your clients. They're not interested in that. I mean, don't get me wrong. All of that may become important later on down the line, but at this point, when they first hit your website, all they're looking for is a solution to their problem. So very quickly, you need to make it clear that they are in the right place and you are the one to provide that solution. And you don't do that by talking about yourself. You do that by talking about their problems and how you can solve them.
Excellent. So using words like we, our team, us, I. Sometimes, by the way, this applies not only to your website but also to your LinkedIn profile. This one always makes me smile. I am currently the MD of XYZ search firm. I always think to myself, would you introduce your partner like that? This is my current partner. That one always makes me smile. Nobody really cares. So stop talking about yourself. Stop using words like we, us, our team. And here's a word to use as frequently as possible on your website. You, Y-O-U, and talk about solving your clients' problems. Mistake number 3, not being clear on your website who you are targeting. So often we do a lot of website critiques and share with recruitment and search firm owners how to generate leads just from the website. And you go to the website and you think, I have no idea what you do or who you serve. A classic one will be, you go to the website and there's some image there of something. It might be an aircraft, it might be a tank. I saw one with a tank. You might have got those stock photographs from stock photographs or Google or wherever. That don't, quite frankly, mean a thing. And I kind of look at the website and think, I don't know what you do. Or you say, we're a search firm. I know someone the other day, we recruit senior managers. Can you define what a senior manager is? Because what may be senior to you may be quite junior to somebody else. But there's no clarity on the website of exactly who the website's for. Now, I appreciate at some level that when you design the website, many recruiters, they will have looked at your competitor's website and think, I'd kind of do what they're doing. Bad idea. I also appreciate that some of you are saying, well, we don't want to repel anybody from our website, so we want to try to position it that we can kind of do everything. No. The narrower your niche, the broader your appeal. You want to deliberately repel those people that you don't want to engage. So let's say you're a senior IT recruiter, and definition senior, you recruit over 150,000. Make that absolutely clear. That's what you do. Don't say, yeah, we recruit from 20,000 to 200,000. You can't be good at everything. Make it absolutely clear who your target market is, and deliberately repel those that you're not interested in. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said on the last point that at this point, when someone hits your website, all they really care about are themselves, their problems, how to fix them. And no matter what sector you work in, really what we do is we're in a problem-solving business. You solve problems for your clients. So you need to be very clear when someone hits your website what problem it is you help solve. You need to make a big promise, and you do that by having a headline. And a headline is basically, I guess, a heading that explicitly says the big promise that you can help solve, and it's there to grab the attention of your clients. But you'll be surprised, again, Terry mentioned there, like the websites that you go to, and the first thing you see is maybe the company logo. Maybe it's a picture that isn't relevant to really anything at all. It could be, again, Terry, you said stock images, but really what we want, if you want to get the best results on your website, the first thing that your potential client sees needs to be about them, their problems, and how you can help solve them. And you do that with a headline. Be very clear about who your website is for on the first time, the first second that they see it.
Excellent. The next mistake is not having a clear purpose. A website that doesn't have a clear purpose. I'm going to share something with you. Do you know the number one reason why recruitment and search firm owners don't get what they want? They don't actually know. And the same with your website. See, we often say, what's the purpose of your website? And we get so many variations. Well, it's like our online brochure, or it's just in case people check us out, or whatever. But it's so vague. And the very first thing you should do with your website is have a well-defined and clear purpose. And by the way, it's the exact same process applies to your business as well. What are you in business for? Where do you want this business to be a year from now, 12 years from now, whatever it is? But you've got to be absolutely clear. With that, when you've got that purpose, you've got that clarity, and you can communicate that effectively then to your potential clients and potential candidates. So an example, a clear purpose of your website is homepage is to generate leads, to capture the details of potential clients. The candidate page is to capture the details of potential candidates, or whatever it is. But have a very clear and defined purpose of what each page of your website's for. So there's no ambiguity whatsoever. Somebody coming to your website, they go, right, I get what these guys do, and I get what I'm expected to do next to take this relationship to the next level. That's absolute clarity, and until you've got that, you're not going to you're not going to be generating leads from your website. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, again, agree 100% with what you're saying there. What a mistake that you'll see from a lot of recruitment and search from owners is that it's not clear when you hit their website. It's not clear what they want you to do next, or as the prospect, it's not clear what they want the prospect to do next. Sort of a basic principle of marketing is that every page on your website, every email, every sales letter, every sales page, whatever it is, there should be a clear purpose. There should be a clear call to action. There should be a clear next step that you want the potential clients to take. And with a lot of websites for some of the recruitment and search managers we speak to, there is no clear next step. There's no obvious thing they want their potential clients to do. So yeah, one of the quickest things you can do on your website right now to start getting results is have a clear purpose for each page, a clear call to action, a clear next step that you want the client to take.
Excellent, thanks for that, Drew. And the final one is not driving traffic to your website. See, there's this common myth that if you build a website, that your clients will come rushing to it, they'll read all the stuff all about you on your website, and then they're going to give you a call with their credit card in their hand and say, hey, look, here's my credit card details, let's start doing some business straight away. Sadly, as you probably found, that isn't true. It's never going to happen. And one of the reasons it's not going to happen is that most people have never even heard of your company or heard of your website, and you haven't given them any reason to go to your website. And most recruiters do absolutely nothing to drive potential clients or potential candidates to their website. And not doing this, by the way, is costing you literally hundreds of thousands. Well, it's certainly costing you leads that you could be generating, and then it depends on your leads. See, if you only got one lead a day, every single day from your website, that would be about 30 leads a month. And if you were only to convert, let's say, a small percentage, 10% of those into fee-paying clients, what would that be worth to you? And imagine that you could do that, and every day you just got one lead a day where a client said, I'm actually interested in working with you. Well, that's not going to happen unless you actively drive people to your website. And there's a number of ways that you can do that. We're not going to go into that now, but there are so many ways that you can drive people to your website to generate modestly one inquiry a day, every single day. And by the way, if you're not getting one inquiry a day, you're doing something wrong. It really is as simple as that, because a lot of your competitors are getting 2 or 3 inquiries a day, every single day. But here's what they do. They drive potential clients to their website. And here's what we often get with some of some recruiters and search firms. Yeah, well, my market's different, and my clients don't go online to look for the services that we offer. Yes, they do. And there are a number of tools out there that you can use to see exactly how many potential clients are actually looking for what you're offering, just for this, very simply with a Google search or looking on LinkedIn. And if they're looking for your competitors and finding your competitors, I would say that you're missing out on a ton of business. So it's really important that you actually drive people to your website. What would you like to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, I mean, it should go without saying that. I mean, even if you're not making the first 4 mistakes that we talked about, if no one sees your website, if you're not actively sending people to see it, then it doesn't really matter. So yeah, what you'll find is with most recruitment and search managers, they'll spend all this money on the website. It may look perfect. It may not break any of or make any of the mistakes that we spoke about just a minute ago. But if nobody is actually seeing that website, it all counts for nothing. So again, one of the big mistakes is not actually driving your potential clients to your website.
Excellent. So there are 5 killer mistakes that's costing you hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions in lost revenue on your website. Listen, don't forget, if you want the podcast notes for this, if you go to www.renegaderecruiter.com, and you can actually get
therenegaderecruiter.com.
The Renegade Recruiter. Yeah, so if you go to therenegaderecruiter.com, you can get access to the podcast notes. Really appreciate you joining. If you've enjoyed this podcast, share it with your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, stop listening. Please, any feedback, we really appreciate it. We do this absolutely free of charge. So any feedback, if you want to share this with anybody, please feel free to share this with anybody. And as I said, you can get the notes at therenegaderecruiter.com. Drew, again, thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for your input and your charm and your intellect. But seriously, thank you very much, Drew. This is Terry Edwards, Renegade Recruiter. Take care, take action, and be relentless.